Renowned around the world for its endless plains, unsettled culture, and after all, emperors, Mongolia could be a breathtakingly lovely place to explore, which delights nature lovers and outdoor aficionados alike. While it's exactly for its wild and rugged landscapes and endless nothingness that folks visit Mongolia, the inland nation additionally incorporates a range of beautiful alpine lakes, soaring mountains, and even the desolate Gobi for you to fancy. Hidden away among the immenseness of the scenery are remote habitation camps for you to experience the time-honored traditions of Mongolian nomads and their noted generosity and welcome hospitality. Arrange your trip to the present undiscovered Asian travel destination with our list of the most effective places to go in Mongolia. Number 10. Karakoram and Erdene Zuu Monastery. Once the capital of the Mongol Empire, Karakoram may be a fascinating place to visit if you'd like to learn about the history of the Mongol culture. Acknowledged to the locals as Harhoran, the traditional town was visited by Polo all the way back in the 13th century. Now, however, the once great town is in ruins, with endless sky and champaign in each direction. The superfluity of the stupas lining its long wall do look unimaginable. One of the earliest living Buddhist monasteries within the country, Erdene Zuu has 3 stunning temples, with a legion of beautiful statues and carvings. Besides this spectacular site, Karakoram has some smaller ruined stupas, buildings, and archaeological sites for you to wander around, though none are as spectacular as Erdene Zuu. Meaning Great White Lake in English, Turkvian Tsagaan is competently named, as its reflective waters superbly mirror the skies and clouds on top of it. Stretching into the gap, the lake's tranquil waters are perfectly encircled by gently rolling hills, and the also ideal scenery is utterly complemented by its white yurts and scatterings of horses that line its shores. Due to its remote nature, Turkvian Tsagaan could be a peaceful place to camp for 1 or 2 nights. There are several nice places to hike around the space, and the Khuvsgul volcano is definitely worth a visit. In addition, many folks go horseback riding around the fresh lake or climb to the highest of one of the close hills for a good look over the incredible scenery. Number 8. The Orkhon Depression. Lying virtually right in the middle of Mongolia, it's within the scenic Orkhon Depression where the sacred mountain forest of Atakan was believed to be. Ruling over the place wherever the ascendant spirits resided granted the ruler the divine right to rule on earth. This meant that its possession was thought of to be completely crucial to every Turkic state that rose, ruled, and declined in the field. Consequently, a wealth of fascinating historic sites and cultural landmarks litter the mountainous piece of ground. The 8th century Orkhon monuments and also the Tavan abode square measure the foremost spectacular of the ton, aboard the ruins of the Karakoram and Erdene Zuu cloister. There is one thing quite non-secular concerning traveling through the endless empty landscapes encompassing the valley. You barely see another soul for days aside from the flocks of farm animals and also the herds of horses that meander across the field in between the occasional dwelling. Number 7. The Genghis Khan Sculpture. The giant sculpture of Genghis Khan atop his horse glimmers within the light as he imperiously looks out over the champaign and the mountains encompassing the region. Eminent to a height of 40 meters, the sculpture was inbuilt in 2008 to honor the 800th day of remembrance from the start of the Mongol Empire. The sheer size and scale are fitting of the person who rose to rule such an enormous swath of territory and could be a national hero within the country. The Genghis Khan sculpture lies around 50 kilometers outside of Kulin. Once you arrive, you'll realize the memento retailers, an eating house, and an archaeologic deposit for you to seek out. From the height of the horse's head, you'll fancy some awe-inspiring views out over the encompassing rural area, and a close-up read of the Genghis Khan gazing out towards the horizon. Number 6. Urga. Home to virtually 1/2 of the country's population, the sprawling town of Urga is Mongolia's capital. Additionally, as its cultural, body, and business heart. Settled within the delightfully named Vale of the Golden Cradle, at the purpose where the Selv and Tuol rivers meet, the town may be a strange, however intoxicating mixture of urban and wandering lifestyles. While its downtown may be a little bit of associate in nursing ugliness, with Soviet-era buildings lying aboard fashionable monstrosities, their area units some entrancing recent monasteries scattered regarding here and there. Choijin Lama and Ganden Tegchinlan area units the most effective of the bunch and tucked away within the endless sprawl. You'll be able to still realize an abode or two. Once it involves its museums and art galleries, Urga is blessed. Its well-valued dispersal some days trawling its intensive collections and artifacts. The Bogd Winter Palace and Mongolian National Modern Gallery are significantly pleasant to examine. Number 5. Altai Tavan Bogd Park, covering an enormous expanse of territory that has everything from the Tavan Bogd geological formation to the scintillant lakes of Dayan, Khotan, and Kurgan. The Altai Tavan Bogd Park can delight the nature lovers and outside aficionados alike. Located within the western corner of the country, the park is home to a number of the foremost spectacular scenery in Mongolia. The soaring Tavan Bogd Mountains loom over 3 giant fresh lakes that lie among them. Due to its remote location, there's an untouched and unspoiled feel regarding the place, with voluminous rattling fauna and flora to find. You will be lucky enough to ascertain Kapra ibex, brown bears, and gray wolves, with majestic golden eagles swooping overhead. Besides the numerous gorgeous landscapes that lend themselves utterly to hiking, ice climbing, steam rafting, and skiing, the park is additionally an incredible place to move if you would like to achieve a deeper understanding and appreciation for roamer life. There are several Kazakh and Tuvan families that you simply will either visit or stick with. Number 4. Khuvsgul Lake. One of the most important lakes in the whole of Mongolia, Khuvsgul has commonly nicknamed the Younger Sister because of its proximity to the renowned Lake Baikal, which lies around 200 kilometers to its northeast in Russia. Encircled by an excellent parkland of equivalent name that's home to plenty of soaring mountains and sweeping valleys, Khuvsgul Lake is about an exceedingly gorgeous location. Whereas its waters square measure comparatively poor in terms of fish and marine life, Khuvsgul Lake remarkably contains 70% of the country's fresh water and was fashioned over 2 million years ago. In stark distinction to the glimmering lake, the parkland boasts a wealth of life. Whereas hiking on its scenic trails, you'll be able to typically spot wild goats, elk, and therefore the occasional bruin, with unimaginable views of the lake and its several dramatic landscapes conjointly on show. Number 3. Hustain Park. Lying a brief distance far away from the capital of Mongolia, Hustain Park may be a fantastic place to move if you would like to go to the known Mongolian campaign, whereas the attractive Kentiai Mountains add some selection to the scenery. Traveling through the park is an absolute delight. You'll pass untamed horses creating their manner across the campaign with nothing else in view apart from faint mountains off within the distance. The sheer expanse of the nothingness is impressive. Whereas drinking within the splendid scenery to your heart's content is pleasant, there's continually a small feeling of relief once you finally come upon a little cluster of yurts. Number 2. Gorkhi-Terelj Park. In all of the foremost widespread places to go in Mongolia, Gorkhi-Terelj National Park's alpine scenery is spectacular. Its wonderful mountain peaks are home to picturesque valleys, roaring rivers, and craggy rock formations, with charming abode camps found here and there. As such, there are an overplus of nice outdoor activities for you to do, with hiking and watercourse rafting being widespread pastimes. Horseback riding through the epic scenery is an exhilarating must if you wish to possess an example of the Mongolian experience. Though components of the park will get busy because of its quality and proximity to national capital, most of its dramatic landscapes stay pristine and untouched. With glacial lakes, hot springs, and a Buddhist religious residence conjointly on supply, Gorkhi-Terelj Park is a natural paradise just waiting to be explored. Number 1. Gobi. With infinite dunes, ancient rock formations, and desolate desert stretching out before you, venturing into the Gobi is a journey into a bleak yet unusually enticing landscape, full of fantastic natural sights, rugged cliffs, plunging canyons, and cavernous caves, all fantastically on display aboard picturesque desert oases and water rivers. While the most attractions are the unimaginable singing dunes of Kongor, and therefore the marvelous scenery of Ulaanbaatar and Dungeonegen, you actually can't fail within the Gobi, providing you keep on the path, as everything is simply majestic.